Good morning, everybody.
Oh my gosh, sorry for the echo there.
That was pretty crazy.
I'm using two phones today just in case, we go down. I've got myself as a co-host and of course yourself as a co-host, Nico. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
for joining me.
We really became Twitter experts or X experts, I guess, during this campaign. It's amazing.
Yeah, seriously. Oh my gosh. I feel like it's been so much fun too to like host these together. Like I kind of want to keep hosting spaces together even after the campaign's done.
Yeah, I was thinking about that in the beginning. It's like I love to use the word sibling projects because we're like crypto cousins. So this has just been so much fun.
Yeah, and today is your bread and butter because welcome everyone. Ape into zkSummer uh, NFT panel today, which you've mentioned several times throughout the campaign that NFTs are more your bag than anything else. So I'm really excited to have you here. In addition to the team from Hugh, our special guests, and zkPengz, both ZkSync native projects. And we had him on before, but welcome again to Alex from Crypto Maze Game. A couple of people actually won some of the NFT, Moody Might NFTs from Crypto Maze. So he's back to join us on the panel because I think you're a great guest too, Alex. So we're happy to have you guys back. Welcome, everyone.
Hello, hello.
Thanks for joining in. And who's joining from the Hue team today?
Hey, it's Ken back. Nice to meet you guys, and thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, nice to meet you as well. And zkPengz team, I see that you have requested to be a speaker and I have added you. There we go. Hello, hello.
Such a warm welcome to Hugh and zkPengz. I'm really excited to have you guys on the show. I'm an NFT nut. Amanda kind of downplayed that a little bit.
Yeah, we're putting you to the test today too. We want to hear what your input as well and like where the NFT space is going, particularly on ZkSync Era, how we can kind of grow the ecosystem there. And also, of course, get to know Hugh and zkPengz, how their collections are growing and evolving, and Crypto Maze too. I mean, it's a very popular game, and we'd love to hear more of like how NFTs make an impact on that platform as well. So we'll start first with the Hue team. If you don't mind, come back, just introduce yourself, a bit about like what your role is on the team, and a little bit about the Hue collection.
Hey, yeah, sure. So, hey guys, my name is I'm Ken back. I'm the co-founder and artist behind Hue. Um, I'm also a designer, a web developer, and the other pillar of the team Hue is Hunter, who is a writer, filmmaker, and lawyer. And so our collection launched 2 months ago on ZkSync. We're still minting, and it's 6,400 generative art piece, like 8 by 8 pixel art. And we want to bring colors, good vibes, simplicity to the ZkSync community. We chose ZkSync because of its mission to accelerate the mass adoption to crypto, and also because we resonate with the ethos of increasing people's freedom through cryptography and educating people. And I think it's pretty much aligned with all our values.
Lovely. And about Hue, like as a collection, if you want to just let everyone know, like how many pieces are there, and sort of a little bit of like the background of the collection, I guess, and how would you describe it?
Yeah, sure. So basically, it's 8 by 8 pixels. The challenge was to be able to make something where the viewer could project, say, his imagination on it, but we didn't want it to be too abstract. So we created these little guys. We call them hues. They're colorful. We have 6,400 pieces in the collection, and we have a little technology twist behind it, which allows us to scale up to 400,000 people without adding another collection, without taking a second mint and stuff like that. So we're pretty excited by this, and I'll go into details if you want a bit after.
Okay, perfect. Lovely. Yeah, I love the color scheme that you guys have for the art pieces. They look really cool. So if everyone hasn't checked out Hue yet, definitely go check out their Twitter profile because they've got some really nice looking pieces. And let's hear from zkPengz. Who do we have joining from the team today?
Oh, hey, it's Slav again. I'm responsible for the tech part of the project. Well, what would you like to hear?
I would love to hear, yeah, you said from the tech side. So maybe just like a little bit more about your title and also a bit of a brief overview of the project. And yeah, same question to as Hugh just answered.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
yeah.
So I'm the tech lead, and zkPengz itself is a fully on-chain collection. We decided to to start the collection on ZkSync because of the cool tech, and at the time of the launch, and before that, when we had the idea, there were no on-chain collections on ZkSync at that time. So we decided to try to create a really quality product. So we have 16 by 16 pixels images. And while thinking about the collection, we got inspiration from pudgy penguins and on-chain monkeys. And we're not actually sure about what style to choose. But when our artist came to the team and showed us the first character, then we fell in love with it. And so the collection itself was generated on the go while people were minting. So we had absolutely no control on what's going to happen during the mint. So if you have a penguin, you can go to the website and test our rarity checker.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so in general, the collection itself was only the start of everything we are constantly trying to build. We've created, our more or less simple cross-chain bridge with layer 0, and it's possible to transfer your zkPengz across different chains with the layer 0 stack. We are going to we're going to improve the ecosystem of the zkPengz, add more stuff, but for now it's a secret. What exactly we plan to add? One of the I think small but cool things that we've created after minting the collection was the token gating feature, when you can get access to Discord if you to some specific channel if you own a zkPengz.
Oh, nice. Yeah, thanks for that intro. That's some really good provenance, to be literally the first on-chain NFT collection on ZkSync. I think a lot of people would go crazy for that, especially to get the actual first asset. Wow, that's really special. And maybe we can move on to Alex. I mean, Alex, we've had you on a couple weeks ago for our gaming panel, but we talked mostly about the Crypto Maze game, and we didn't get to talk enough about the Moody Might NFT. So do you mind explaining a bit about what those are?
Yeah, so happy to be here. Thanks, Amanda, as always. Very nice to be here. And shout out to Pengz, shout out to Hugh. Both very, very cool collections. Like we spoke before, I highly recommend everyone who is kind of interested in NFTs, in the culture, having something unique. I barely speak like for other projects, but Hue and Pengs are pretty cool pixel art, so might be worth getting a few of them just for the culture and dive deep into their projects because both of them are building some cool stuff. About CryptoMaze, I think, all right, short introduction. We are gaming and entertainment, minted over 1.2 million NFTs on ZkSync, released the marketplace. We have 2 games live and the alpha because people want to have the alpha first. I don't think I've shared this before. We're working on a super cool new title. It's again a racing one. It has AI integration and stuff. But about the Moody Mights, the profile pics, I see a lot of Moody Mights in the spaces. Shout out to the fam. Those NFTs are actually in-game avatars. So everything around our ecosystems is kind of gamified and a bit more complex. So people can see the art now. It's a very hilarious, weird art. It's very funny. A lot of hidden Easter eggs if you start zooming out into the pictures. But the cool part of the Moody Mites is those NFTs are actually unlocking some cool stuff inside our games. And I see basically CryptoMaze as a cross section between brands, gaming, influencers, communities, culture, and the whole universe that we're creating along with the team and the community. It will be magical. So the Moody Mites, currently they're on our marketplace, Tracky, and on Element. It's a very low supply. We choose to go with 2,500, so it's not a ton of them, because when we start scaling our games, hopefully to kind of millions of users, we really want these initial Moody Mites NFTs to be something very special. So anyone can go check it out, go to Discord. People will share a lot of alpha there because we're preparing kind of a big things on ZkSync in the Q4. So yeah.
Wow, we love to hear it. Well, 1.2 million, that is really crazy. And thank you so much for the alpha drop. Love to get the inside scoop, and you heard it here first. That is really, yeah, exciting stuff. And yeah, the Moody Mites are, I guess, in comparison to Hue and zkPengz, like, which are very like the pixelated route. Again, Moody Mites, as you mentioned, have a lot of Easter eggs in them. So yeah, very highly detailed, and the aesthetic is quite different, which is kind of goes into my next question. That I guess we can skip and go back to some other questions later in the agenda. But in terms of aesthetic, for zkPengz team and Hue team, I wanted to ask what the inspiration was behind the art, and also because it's pixel art, but not like a sandbox game type. It's like to the highest degree of pixelation. What was the sort of reasoning behind that decision in terms of the aesthetic and the inspiration? We can start with Ken back.
Hey, first of all, shout out to Alex. Thank you for your support, man. I'm a fan of what they're building. I must say it's really amazing. So you definitely should check out CryptoMaze on ZkSync because they're dope. For the art, so the inspiration behind Hue was, first of all, we wanted to create something iconic, something that blockchain is really. It's always kind of associated to pixel art. So early on we knew we wanted this kind of pixel art, and then you need to choose which canvas you want. What's the size of it, because there's a lot of different type of pixel art, and we wanted the challenge to go towards like the smallest pixel art possible, but still be a representation of something. And this is where we landed on 8x8. Then since we didn't have a lot of details to work with, because 8x8 is really small, it's like only 64 pixels, we had to put a lot of thoughts into the palette, the colors, because this is what will make the collection pop out. And so we took a lot of inspiration from pop art, from Andy Warhol or Keith Haring's, like the Marilyn Monroe's. Basically, the art is designed to be very versatile because we think like Hue is primarily an art collection. We want people to have it also for the art. So it's been designed to be like printed or displayed on screens in your living room as a duo, as a triptych. And I think it really stands out if you showcase them like that. And this is just for the art part. It's also inspired by like iconic street artists like I don't know if you know Space Invaders. Well, we designed Hue also in the mind of that. We wanted to do an homage of CryptoPunks, but without doing derivative, because we're tired of derivatives and we wanted something original. So it has some little wink to OG collections. We wanted to do an homage also to all the retro gaming because we were born into that. We were born into pixel gaming, into Atari, into all this kind of games, and it really built out our imagination. So Hue is a big homage to all this kind of stuff we loved from the 90s, the 80s, and from the new age of blockchain, basically, with this colorful twist, because I think the world needs color because it's good, it spreads positivity, and it's always nice to the eye.
Oh, that's a nice backstory. When there's that personal touch behind something, you're not just kind of designing something that you think is going to appeal to the masses, and there is that nostalgia factor too. I think, it makes the collection have more of like a human touch to it. So yeah, thanks for sharing that backstory. That is really cool. And I see it. I see the nostalgia. I see with your marketing too. Like I wanted to ask specifically the Hue team, maybe before we move on to other collections. I did notice like in your marketing, you guys tend to associate different assets to different like historical facts. So like on this date, so what day is it? September 6th. I don't know, like we landed on the moon. We didn't land on the moon today, but you know what I mean. Then you'll put one of the Hue NFTs beside that fun fact of today's date. And I thought that was really like interesting and clever marketing. So I wanted to ask like, what was the sort of thought process behind that marketing style, and how do you select which Hue asset matches with which historical fact?
So for the marketing style, it's because like one of our goals is really to empower the people, empower holders, empower the communities, and I think this comes with education and with knowledge and with the knowledge of history, and this is how people can grow and can do like decisions about the future. It's about knowing what happened in the past, and it's always some cool stuff. And so this is why we always try to put some education into it without being like kind of heavy about it, but just some little stuff. We also have a bunch of guides on Medium on how to use zkSync, how to bridge funds, how to use certain protocols, because I think it's important that we get out of this kind of a scam etiquette, that the mainstream people see in crypto, and this starts by educating people. And this is why we decided to do this kind of campaigns. And then to choose with the Hue, it's really the imagination. We go through the images and we're like, well, it's the feeling. You see it, you see one, and you're like, you have the story, and you're like, that's perfect. And for the titles and all that, most of the time we try to take some positive history facts, but unfortunately, sometimes it's not very glorious. So you got to do with what you have.
I love that you mentioned Andy Warhol. I saw that immediately, and it kind of reminded me. I see some classic artists. Pollock has released some artwork, and of course Basquiat. But I immediately saw that quality within your NFTs. So just wanted to tip my hat to that. If anybody's ever tried to do pixel art, I'm a fan of POAPs, and every now and then they have these painting parties. They had one at ETH Denver this year where you are given so many pixels and you can add to a canvas of art. man, you know, it sounds really simple. Like, okay, I'm going to grab a red pixel, I'm going to put it here. I'm going to grab a blue pixel, I'm going to put it here. But if you don't get the colors right, and for everybody on the call, you can just imagine when you have a pixel, it'll say red, but below it you'll have, you know, you'll help me out with this. I remember at least 15 different reds, and you know the nuances that you pick. That is truly. Yeah, that is truly talent. And that was something that Andy Warhol really excelled at. He was actually a graphic artist. He used to do illustration works, you know, logos way back in the day before there was even a computer to draw upon. So hats off to you guys. I think that that's really important that there's a historical reference.
Well, thanks a lot. It goes straight to my heart as the artist. And yeah, it's really I think it's cool to have some references, you know, and the Warhol style is really iconic. You can see it from just a blink of an eye, and I think it's what we want with Hue. We want to be very different, and you just see it, you're like, oh, this is a Hue. It's colorful. It pops, you know, and you want to have it at home, or you want to use it for everything we're building.
And you know, I think it's also cool that you mentioned CryptoPunks. You know, there's a new modern historical reference point, you know, and you know, of course, that's something everyone wants to say. Oh, we're the early on, we're this, but also really key that you didn't just do a derivative of the CryptoPunks. I've always kind of found their pixel art. It's true in terms of a computer programming. The engineering behind it is very pure, but they're not that attractive. You know, I looked through Element before I hopped on, and I have to say, there's one thing about collecting art. It also needs to warm your heart, and there's something cool about your project just having beauty that's within there as well, beyond the tech. So, tipping my hat to that too.
Yeah, I would love to hear some of the lore behind zkPengz and yeah, the inspiration behind the art.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So, as I mentioned before, like one of the reference projects that we really enjoyed was On-Chain Monkeys. And in general, we chose penguins because they are funny and very positive. Well, and as we had no control over what was getting minted, well, you could say that Rarity changed on the go. It was very cool to monitor how the mint is going. Uh, well, um, if we speak about like rare penguins or rare traits that the collection has, I think one of them is a black wing with a hidden Easter egg, and you can see a middle finger sticking out of the wing if you look very closely at it. Well, my personal favorites are yeah, yeah. So my personal favorites are zombie peng, the rainbow on the NFTs, and I think the whole team, all the artists, the tech guys, like everyone, the marketing team, we all had fun while creating the traits. Like a punk hair, a cigarette sticking of the Peng mouse, hoodie, like a superhero suit is very cool. And yeah, and what well, I think one of the funniest thing was inventing the eyes. Like if you browse through the collection, you can see different funny eyes, like penguins in different states, like very tired or very funny or maybe a little bit evil peng with some tricky plan. Yeah, so we like to build stuff, and we enjoy what we do, and I think this is one of the most important things in the ecosystem, because of course, during the bull run there can be some teams and projects that are here only for the profit. But I think, the coolest teams and the coolest people stay here during the bear market and continue to build. And sure, we were happy if we get the profit, but it's like a combination of a very cool tech, of cool people in the ecosystem, positive building. Yeah, so it's like a great combination of everything. Thank you.
And why? Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. I gotta ask, since I have you on, I love your website, by the way. I think it's so cool that you just have the penguins going into this little spaceship.
Yeah, we were trying, Elon Musk to tweet us, but I think we haven't figured it out. Yep.
That's awesome. That's so cool. I grew up with a child's book called Chilly Willy the Penguin, and it is just like Amanda said, it is really cool to see penguins brought into the crypto space like that. They're so lovable.
Yeah.
I was going to say too, like my nostalgia with penguins is Pingu. I don't know if that was only like, I grew up in Canada, so like French. I think pretty sure that was a French show. I could be wrong, but Pingu kind of reminds me of zkPengz somehow. And my question for kind of everyone is, why are penguins like, I don't know, one of the characters in the Web3 space? Like dogs, kitties, and penguins? I guess and frogs too, but definitely and penguins. Yeah, why do you guys think that is? Is it Morgan Freeman? March of the Penguins just got society off into this track? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Well, they're very cute. They, for example, a cat is cute by default. Yeah, and everyone love cats, but penguins also move like very funny when they walk. And if you watch the Discovery Channel with the penguins, I personally can watch it non-stop. So probably it's just like worldwide love for those guys.
I think also it's because they're very recognizable. Like a penguin is just an animal that you can see as, just like that, you recognize a penguin, and it's kind of like human-like, like kind of standing with the little feet and the little like the wings, almost as if it were hands. I mean, there's something where we can really relate to penguins and their cute little way of kind of being, clumsy in a way. I don't know. I think penguins are a great choice because they're really, really cute.
I mean, yeah, that is undeniable. Nico, do you have any special reason as to like why we've really latched on to penguins?
As soon as you said Morgan Freeman, I immediately was like, God, yeah, I was really into that show. For me, it's also the penguins. I'm trying to remember which movie they're from. They're the mischievous penguins that they're always plotting somehow to escape the zoo.
Madagascar.
God, I love those. And then they had their own little spin-off as well. But it's the belly slide. I mean, come on. As soon as you see a penguin like jump and slide down a hill on his belly, I mean, that's it. You're in love.
Wait, yeah, Alex, we need you to chime in too.
Yeah, no, Nico is very much on point, and I just wanted to touch basically on when you think about penguins, you think about family, right? You always see on those little films, they always take care of their small penguins. They're all grouped together like a big family. So I think those facts kind of play on your mind because they're always protective of each other, taking care of each other, and super exotic because like cat, you can see cats all over, but penguins, I mean, come on. They're far in the distance. They're doing their little things, and it's just very cute. And it catch really hard. And also, the monkeys got a lot of attention in Web3. I think those are the two animals that are the most loved.
And what animal is a Moody Mite?
Is it an animal? I mean, no. When we start to work on the Moody Mites, we decided that we want avatar collection because we already have some in-game assets that are interchangeable in our games, but we wanted an avatar asset. So all of the gamers, the community members can later on pick their favorite personality. So we were thinking that we want to be a humanoid, but we didn't want to do another monkey because we don't like to copy stuff. So we said, okay, is it like something like Chewbacca from Star Wars? Is it kind of a Sesame Street? I don't know, but it's a humanoid, and not sure yet what the history is because we tend to release information kind of a gradual, slowly. And on the next wave, I think in 1-2 months of new, like at the big attention around CryptoMaze, we'll release some very epic videos so people will understand more about the Moody Mites. But they're pretty cool because they're over 100 custom faces. If you scroll, all custom made, we have a whole doc about the creation, and we intend to release it later this year because it will be interesting. But the most important thing for everyone when they try to pick one, just they ask about rarity. Don't worry about everything is rare, everything is super early. Just pick the one that you vibe with. Pick different styles, either a racer or an angel, depending what you like. No, it doesn't have to be so difficult. And don't forget to zoom in. Like zoom in, like learn everything you see. It all will make sense in a while. So yeah, our humanoids.
Yeah, if people listening, like if you have a Moody Mites, just like maybe copy and paste your NFT in the comments because I'm curious to start zooming in here, and I can't do much except right now except look at the comments. So yeah, I'm really curious to see what Easter eggs are in there. I did see
Well,
some, and yeah, I saw some people like posting their NFT like in the comments, but I want to see more because I want to do the zoom in and find the Easter eggs.
Yeah, now I'm checking them
I
out
can
too over
I can see one with big hair like the afro. If you can see this one, I think it has glasses. So do you see what's written on the glasses, for example?
551808.
Yeah, but it's an Easter egg. I mean, you don't read it like that. You have to find out what it means. For example, when we were young, we used a calculator machine to type words with letters. So when you
Oh
turn around,
my god.
so when you turn
Oh
around
my
your phone,
god.
you don't need to
Nico,
read
did you
it. All
get
right,
that?
don't.
Yeah, we'll let everybody figure that one out. You can turn your phone around, and that's your clue for the day.
Yeah, look, flip it upside down. Exactly.
Yes, I was a nerdy boy in math class as well, and that's so awesome that you guys put that in. I didn't want us to get too far away from rarity, Amanda. You brought that up, and I know that was in our agenda for today, but that's so important, Alex. And this, of course, goes to everybody. I noticed when I was looking at Element, there were a lot of one of one traits for the Pengs, and I'm fascinated with rarity. I like that you bring that up. That it's not important for the functionality of your project to have a rare NFT, but as a collector, I just think it's cool. It's really neat to have like an affinity to your NFT, something that you're associated with, and I think it's really amazing that you have such a diverse collection, but yet at the same time there's a lot of really unique NFTs.
Now, it's super important, the rarity factor. If I might speak about the Moody Mites, the thing is we don't want to. We are doing kind of a reverse psychology because at the current stage, the many of the participants in the market are just profit driven, looking for gains, and we don't want that. So that's why we say they're all the same. But who knows? I mean, I believe in personal development. So who knows? It might be a possibility for people to ascend and level up their Moody Might. So it will be revealed soon.
And just for the audience as well, if the whole panel could explain that for newer people to NFTs, you mentioned that the rarity actually it happens once they're minted, right? So it isn't to say that there's there's a box somewhere in the computer and you're reaching in and pulling out something that was pre-designed. You're actually creating them right on chain, right when you press mint, that's when that NFT is born.
Yeah, maybe we can ask Hugh to chat about, or zkPengz first, and then Hugh to just chat about the rarity factors for both of your collections. Oh, did we lose our guests?
I don't know.
No, I'm still here. I was waiting for zkPengz to go, but I can go.
Sure, yeah. Well, I'm here too. So we
Okay.
have so we have a we have a rarity checker on the website, and yeah. So what can I tell you about the rarity?
Well, I'm always just curious, like for example, are there a certain number of hats, or are there just there's certain limited numbers, or is there more available body type? I'd love to kind of talk a little bit more about what goes into the collection as a whole.
Yeah. So we've never like predetermined the rarities, so it like really was generated on the go while people were minting, and well, let me check my notes. So
Yeah, it's kind of a leading question because as an NFT collector, I've always loved that about the technology. It's one thing when you go to an artist and they make an art piece and they say, okay, I'm going to make 10 prints, but it's the same exact thing over and over again. But with NFTs, because the contract, right? I mean, I guess it's kind of the way you write the contract. That's just going to determine what comes out randomly. I mean, that's beautiful to me. It's kind of more of a statement than a question, but I just wanted you to speak on that a little bit because I don't know if everybody understands, the technology behind these images that you put out.
yeah, so I think from what I remember, and we haven't enforced any rarities at all. So we don't have any specific counts for specific traits. We just had fun creating lots of different traits, and then we just let it go to the community, and community will kind of decide how it turned out. So, for example, this Black Wing trait and that is like super rare right now. It was like super on-chain random, so as random as you could get it, and that's cool.
On our side, so we had certain traits we wanted to be really predetermined as rare. So, for instance, we wanted only one gold crown. So there's only one Hue wearing a gold crown into the whole collection. Then the rest, we had some ideas, but we let the magic kind of do his trick. But we still put some presets in, and also we generated the NFTs off chain because I wanted to select all of them to make sure they were fine because of the colors and the layering and all that, and because it's also a big part of our project is the art. So I wanted to make sure that it was something that would really look good, because as an artist I'm creating it too with the help of the machine. And for some rare traits, we have like the rarest trait for the skin is called the ZK skin, is the one I have as a PFP. It's an homage at ZkSync. We also have a Bitcoin skin. And then we have like a bunch of different head traits. I think we have like 80 or 90 different head traits, which is a lot for like 8-bit pixel art. So, yeah.
So incredible. It just fascinates me, the approach that you take as designers, and just the thought that goes in behind the scenes. A lot of people don't really even pay attention to that. So amazing, totally amazing.
Yeah, it was a bit messy because we have like masks, for instance, that take the whole head on, and then you have like some glasses, you have some head traits, and with the layering system, it's kind of hard. So you need to really think about it. And believe me, I think I generated like 10,000 hues, and I go over like a lot of them, and it was quite a process.
Well, and this goes to both your projects, and it's a famous designer, Mies van der Rohe, once said, "Less is more," and it's true when you really get into pixel art and you just look at how refined both of your projects are. To try to make a statement with just a handful of pixels compared to some of the photorealistic AI that's happening on other projects. And it's amazing. I mean, it's so, in my opinion, it's actually so much harder to really make a cool and good looking, something that's desirable out of pixel art. So that's really incredible.
Yeah, seriously, good questions. I wanted to ask, like, I think the zkPengz team already answered the question, but what about for Hugh team, especially Ken, back as you're the artist, like, did you have any favorites in terms of the maybe like can I say color palettes, certain color palettes, or certain design elements?
Yeah, well, clearly my favorites are not necessarily the rare ones, because what I wanted is to have like it's really hard, because when you start designing it, like you do some rare stuff and like, oh, this is going to be really cool with these rare traits and all that, and then you look at the more common one, you're like, well, I want these to be really cool too, so you put them as cool, and then you're like, well, does the rarity make sense, because this one is like common but is almost cooler than the rare ones? What should I do, so it's kind of like a mind fuck. But to answer your question, my favorites, honestly, are the one that follows kind of the same colors. For instance, like a red on a very light red background, or a yellow on a very light yellow background. Like these kind of monochromous hues are for me my favorites, because I think they really, like, from an art point of view, they really stand out, and I could definitely like hang them somewhere. Like. Also, I wanted to put them on the streets with like some little tiles of mosaic and stuff like that, because it's perfect, this little pixel art. So if you walk around the world, maybe you'll see some hues on your wall of your cities.
Oof, those would be really good, like out and about around town. Yeah, I would like those. Yeah,
And
just to like brighten it up. Very
I'm
happy.
the only one. Yeah, I hang pictures of my NFTs in my house, and I'm glad to hear I'm not the only one. That is so cool.
Yeah, there's something
Well,
very joyful about the color palette too, with hues. That's yeah, something that we need more of. But yeah, go ahead, Nico.
No, that was, well, I've one of my uncles is a museum curator, and he took me to dinner, a year ago, and we were chatting, and he was asking about NFTs, and he couldn't wrap his head around the concept. He said, but it's not real. Like I can get a Tishon painting and it's real, and he's moved on. There are no more Tishons. He's not making anymore. And I said, yes, but artwork is exactly the same on chain. Once it's made, and once you've uploaded those, and it's incredible to hear as well that Hugh took the time to produce all the artwork ahead of time and then, uploaded all that onto the blockchain. But once it's on the blockchain, it's permanent. That for me is awesome. And again, I do high quality prints. So it's super easy when you own a BFP, you can go to an art store and get a high quality print and frame it. But if something happens, you're moving, for example, and how many times has that happened? Your picture gets squashed, or, the movers are careless. You own the PFP, you own the artwork on chain, and so as long as you keep your keys, as long as you have a decent wallet to store it in, shameless plug, but you own the artwork forever. So I just think that's incredible. But again, I wanted to just beckon back to that tangible aspect as well. I love making high quality prints, and that then becomes the artwork in my home.
And to add to that also, a lot of people have like TVs, and a TV, when you think about it, is a bit bleak in your home. It's just like this dark screen. And I believe that the future will come with TVs that display your NFT on a loop or something like that, or you have a fixed NFT on it. Because in a art way, it's mind blowing, like you move around, you just move your TV and you have all your stuff just displayed there. And instead of being this weird black box, it becomes a colorful thing of your own unique expression.
That really nails it as well. And you think about interior design, imagine someone lives in a house and it's a very nice home. Every 5 years, they'll hire an interior designer to come through and, let's take down all this art. I'm no longer into, early 5th century art. I want this type of art, and I want to change that. But now imagine the modern version of that. You have a whole gamut of collections on your TVs. I think you nailed it. I really did. I think that we will see more applications like that. Can you tell us a little bit more about how the files are stored? I mean, it's revolutionary that you're both on zkSync. Is it like I'm familiar with EVM chains where they're like IPFS, or, there are certain degrees where projects host the data in different ways. And I was just wondering if either of your projects kind of leaned on that technology from ZK.
Well, yeah, most projects. I mean, there's different type of projects. Some are the images are hosted most of the time on centralized server because of the weight of the files. Since our files are very small, very very small, because it's 8 by 8 pixels, our Hue collection is totally on chain. So it's totally decentralized. It will exist as long as ZkSync exists. Even if Hue for some reason disappears, the images will be there forever. And this is something that we wanted and that was really important for us, because the holders have the security and the trust of knowing that they really own it. And because we're going to see it happen in the coming months, I think, with the prolonged bear market, you're going to have some collections that will maybe kind of lose interest, not pay the fees to IFPS, AWS, or whatever wherever they're hosting their images, and your image is going to be black, and that's sad. And we didn't want that for our holders. We didn't want that for the people that believed in us, and we also believe in decentralization. And it turns out the 8x8 format is perfect to be completely on chain. So it's really a win on that.
Yeah, that's a massive win. Oh my goodness. That's actually a great question. And it's cool to hear that there are like solutions coming out for that. Cause yeah, like what are projects gonna do? Even if they put out like special gifts or something for the community that is NFT based, like who wants to pay for that for, the foreseeable future? Or the unforeseeable future, I should say. So that's really cool that there are solutions out there to solve for that, and you guys have thought about that really well in advance. That's awesome. I actually wanted to ask, we were talking about a rarity. I just think it would be funny to ask Alex since there are so many Easter eggs on the Moody Mites, like what is your favorite Easter egg? Or what's something no one's found yet? I don't know.
So my favorite, I love. First of all, it's like our own baby, the whole collection. I mean, we spent over 2 months designing, crafting, everything custom. So I can't say just one single thing. But to be honest, like 80% of what's in it, it's not revealed. So again, we are taking it slow. There is so much more to it. Personally, I pick different styles of Moody's when I see them listed. I pick racing Moody's, Angels, McDonald Moody's, all kinds of Moody's, because the way we approach storytelling, different Moody's will have different unlocks inside the games and in terms of real world events. So I can't say just one type of Moody. And because I'm very careful when I speak, if I say a certain Moody, the community will jump to find and think it's very special. But again, I think something interesting is we haven't revealed the one of ones. And the reason is when our company starts to grow and grow, we'll have access to a lot more people to co-create with us. So those of the community who are holding one of ones can expect progressive reveal of the one of ones. And basically for every NFT, we'll announce who was working on it. Basically different people in sports, in movies, and things like this. So I think this is something interesting for people to look up.
Yeah, that is so fun. And thanks to everyone who's like commenting their Moody Might NFTs in the chat. It has been fun to zoom in, and lots of little one-liner jokes in there, and yeah, lots of Easter eggs. Oh my gosh. It's a fun collection. Oh yeah, go ahead. zkPengz team.
Yeah, thank you. So in terms of on-chain storage, we basically store the data about the banks in something called RLE, run length encoding, like in old TVs. So we have like x, y, x, xy coordinates, the width of the line of a specific color, and then the last value. The first one is the index of the color that is used, and so there's also corresponding color table. This is how it's stored, and in terms of rendering, when we want to show the peng on the front end, for example, then it's rendered as SVG from the contract. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, nice. I know that Nico had a bunch of questions too for you guys about the NFT bridge and sort of like some of its functionality. I'm not sure if you had time to just quickly touch on that. I think the question was particularly like what happens to the originally minted NFT once you send some of the pengs to different L2s.
Yeah, okay. Well, just give me a few minutes, please. Let me check my notes. I'll come back to you. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love the feature that you have on the website. You know, it's an interesting facet to me now that we're on ZK on layer. And to put it in perspective again, in the early days, there were only NFTs on the Ethereum chain. And a funny but not funny story is that CryptoKitties broke Ethereum at one point. You know, the interest in the project was beyond the ability of the node operators at the time. And in so many ways, seeing your projects on ZK Era is realizing the dream of Vitalik. You know, he had always talked about being able to do things on layer twos. So that's what really gravitated me to the question. I was just fascinated to see the bridge that you have on your project site. It's pretty cool.
And to clarify, it's like NFT bridge that's is available on the zkPengz site. And yeah, that is a really cool feature. I was interested to see that kind of vertical.
Yeah, so right now we support Ethereum, ZkSync. Well, of course, ZkSync is the basic one for us. Arbitrum Nova, and Optimism as for now. Yeah, I'll try to post the picture of how the website for the bridge website looks. Just give me a second.
Really incredible. Yeah. And as we're coming to the top of the hour, I want to thank you again, Amanda. It's such an honor to have been on all these calls, and it really was. It's like a homecoming every time we team up with Across. So, thank you again. You've been such an amazing partner as we've been on our community built journey. So, thank you so much.
Yes, you as well. Seriously, Nico, it's been so fun to host these together. I think having two hosts is much better than one. And yeah, I guess please do zkPengz team show us the picture in the comments. But yeah, just to be conscious of everyone's time, I think we should wrap things up. But it's been such a fun panel. Lots of really exciting things happening on ZkSync Era in the NFT space, and we're just so happy to support beautiful art that also has really, I would say really what's that word? Really, anyway, really incredible tech. What was that word? Ingenuine. Oh no. Okay, sorry guys.
Ingenious.
Ingenious? No,
Yes.
I think that's not the word I'm thinking of though. Anywho.
No, it's amazing. And just for everybody on the call too, I encourage everybody to take a deeper look. It's so nice to have the founders and the team on these calls to tell you about the inside track and of course leak a little bit of alpha. That's always my favorite. But I encourage everybody to join our communities. I know personally I learn so much every time I go to an Across community call. It's just so helpful for me to have the connection and to really understand bridging and what is otherwise very complicated. You guys just make it so simple. And I hope that also that the Tahoe wallet experience is the same way. If any of you want to visit, Tahoe.xyz, we have a thriving Discord community, and we love all of our community members. Our newcomers ask really basic questions, and it's just awesome to see both of our communities, and now meeting all of you today, and the other projects. I'm already following all of you guys on Twitter, so it's just great to see so much knowledge being shared, and such a time to build. It is a bear market, but you really know who the real players are in a bear market like this, because we're in it for the long run. We're really in it to win it.
Absolutely. And ZkSync Era is just getting started. We're super early, so we're so happy to get introduced to all these great projects. So thank you to Alex from Crypto Maze. Thank you to Ken Buck from the Hue project. And I'm sorry I missed your name, but the tech lead from zkPengz. It was really cool to get to know everyone. Pleasantly surprised. I just really loved all the projects in this panel. Went so well. I think the tech behind some of these collections is really mind-blowing. I think you think it's just art, and as you mentioned, Nico, it's just potentially like pixel art. It looks so simple, and you guys make it look simple, but there's so much thought and just tons of thought behind it that it's really incredible. So thank you guys for joining, and this has been the start of week 4, Ape In to zkSummer. So we'll see you guys tomorrow, and we'll announce the giveaway for today's AMA. Thank you to the Hue team for their one Hue NFT. We'll be announcing that soon. Thank you guys.